spots here and get rolling tonight. I'm Jared Ryan, the proud principal of Red Mountain High School, and it's an absolute pleasure to see you all here this evening to celebrate the accomplishments of so many of our young adults who grace us with their presence each day. Obviously, as parents and grandparents and family members, you guys have done something right. We're able to show up each day and enjoy being with your children and watching them grow and being part of their lives in that way. So thank you so much for giving us that opportunity. As we get in place here, I'm going to welcome to the stage two of our students, Adrian and, who do we have? Adrian and Talea to the stage, and they're going to go ahead and get us started with presentation of the colors, singing the national anthem, and we'll be on with the awards. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Will everyone please rise for the presentation of colors, followed by the singing of the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, led by Red Mountain Singers. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color guard, attention! Gary, colors! Forward! March! Inward, face, post, colors, present, arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Outward, face, forward, march.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please take your seats and enjoy the program.
Dream. If you're scared of the darkness, I will calm your fear. There's a light in the hallway, so you know I'm here. So count your blessings every day. It makes the monsters go away, and everything will be okay. You are not alone. You are right at home. Good You won't see me forever, but I'll still be here. For beyond that night, even me might hear. From now on, if you need me, you can sing this song. There's a light in the hallway, burning all night long. So count your blessings every day. It makes the monsters go away, and everything will be okay. You are not alone. You are right at home. Good night.
Thank you to the Red Mountain Singers. Great job, guys. Good evening, and welcome to this evening's presentation. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Patty Meath. I'm the president of the Academic Booster Club. And on behalf of the Academic Booster Club and the members, I want to welcome you to tonight's 12th annual award ceremony. The students invited to tonight's ceremony include department award recipients, the top 20 GPA sophomores and juniors, the Sophomore Hobie Award recipient, and several others. ABC has already recognized the academic achievements of the student body last week when we distributed some 640 pins and letters to students with a 3.75 GPA or higher. I also want to take this opportunity to thank you for your support of the Academic Booster Club this year. Your volunteer hours and/or your monetary support has allowed us to continue to support the students, teachers, and administration throughout the school year with many different projects and events. Thank you, and we congratulate you on your student success here at Red Mountain High School. It is also my job to introduce our guest speaker tonight. Our guest speaker tonight is Miss Courtney Klein. She is a 2001 graduate of Red Mountain High School. Yes, there you go. She received her bachelor's degree in nonprofit management and communications from the Barrett Honors College at ASU and her master's degree in nonprofit studies. Her career has included positions as the Chief Executive Officer of New Global Citizens and the Director of Strategic Planning and Development with the Greater Phoenix Economic Council. Currently, she is the co-founder and CEO of Seed Spot, a nonprofit organization that assists entrepreneurs in solving important societal issues. Courtney also serves as an advisor for the Future of Arizona, is an entrepreneur in residence at ASU, and serves the advisory board for Hatch, the Montana-based think tank. And I would like to thank and welcome Courtney to the stage.
Good evening. How are you all tonight? An honor to be here. I can't believe that I graduated 16 years ago. I thought tonight I would share just a bit of my journey, and if the slides pop up here. I graduated in 2001. I was incredibly involved here at Red Mountain High School, and I credit a lot of the inspiration and the source of my career trajectory to Red Mountain, the educators, the teachers who were here. So thank you to all of you who dedicate your time and effort as parents, as teachers, as administrators. I am a living testimony of what it means to have a good education, and I'm really proud to be a Mountain Lion and a proud alum of Red Mountain. So with that, how many of you at the age of 5, parents and students, had an idea, a dream to become something? An astronaut, an artist, a singer, a basketball, come on, you were 5. Right? 5. Raise your hands high in the air. How many of you at the age of 5 had a dream? How many of you held on to that dream at the age of 10? 15? For the adults, 25? Okay, hands are plummeting. So the challenge, and statistically, if you ask a room full of 5-year-olds, how many of them have a dream that they can become something? Every single 5-year-old will raise their hand. Statistically, by the age of 13, that drops to less than 15%. And by the time we reach our 30s, it's less than 14%. And I've questioned my entire career, and ever since I left this campus, why do dreams die? And what is it about our life trajectory, our influence, ourselves, that makes us doubt the ability to pursue those? So my dream when I was here on campus at Red Mountain was to become Katie Couric. For those that don't know Katie Couric, she was a famous broadcaster on the Today Show. And I really was destined, I thought, to become Katie Couric, live in New York, work on national television. So I studied my first year at Arizona State University in broadcast journalism. But after my freshman year in college, I traveled to the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, and I lived with 12 other college students in a very rural, remote village. And using the service base that I had here at Red Mountain and all of the activities that I was involved in, I carried that forward and really wanted to have a global impact. And I thought by starting in a rural village in Mexico, I would be exposed to issues that I wasn't when I was here in Mesa growing up. And what I learned about this community, it was called Aquil. We were 2.5 hours inland from Cancun. They had no running water. We burned our toilet paper. We showered in the rain. By American standards, it had absolutely nothing. And yet it was the richest community I had ever been in, because they hadn't lost sight of the dreams that they held for their families and for their communities. And over that summer, I thought to myself, how is it that I'm 18 years old, grew up in a middle-class family, had a great public education, and was never exposed to what was happening outside the confines of my neighborhood or my country? So I came back from that trip, and on the back of a barf bag, I wrote down an idea. What if there was an organization that would educate young people about global issues and empower them to create change? And the lesson I learned in that moment on that flight was that ideas can start anywhere. And to any of the graduates and any of the students tonight, or any of the adults for that matter, if you have an idea, you have it for a reason. And jot it down wherever it is. Because this barf bag took me back to Arizona State University, where I changed my major my sophomore year and studied nonprofit management. And there was one thing that I had to do in order to change my major, and that was get the authorization of a professor. And that particular professor was a little bit stingy, shall we say, about changing majors. And he asked me candidly, why is it that you want to change your major from broadcast journalism to nonprofit management? And I said very firmly, I want to start a nonprofit when I graduate. And I want to empower other young people to realize that they have power and authority to create change in the world. And that professor looked me square in the eye and said, well, that's really nice. A lot of students come in here and say that they want to start a nonprofit when they graduate. None of them actually do. It's incredibly hard, but here's your paperwork. Good luck. Not the quality education that I got here. Right? The educator that doubted me was not the first or the last to doubt any decision that we make in life, right? But the famous adage, to never doubt yourself, because plenty of other people will do that for you. And that doubt stuck with me for the next 3 years. I changed my major, and in my senior year at Arizona State University, they had a competition. $20,000 for any student that wanted to launch a business. Now, I think ASU was candidly looking for the next Facebook, some wild startup that they could fund and back. And I submitted this idea for a nonprofit. And I got a call my senior year. Congratulations, Courtney, you've been fully funded. $20,000, office space, and a mentor. Right, I'm on cloud 9. I'm thinking to myself, this is it. I'm gonna call all the interviews I've been having as I'm about to graduate. I'm gonna turn down every job offer, right? Because I got 20G, I got an office space, and I got a mentor. My mom, right, is like, are you sure you wanna do this? I was like, Mom, I'm doing it. So I walk into the office a few weeks later to collect my $20,000, my office keys, and find out who my mentor is. And the gentleman says to me, congratulations, Courtney, here's your $1,000, your office keys, and your mentor. I thought, what happened to the other $19,000? Well, there was a misreading on the computer screen. So the $19,000 was missing. I had only $1,000. They had misstated who had won the $20,000. It was not me. And I thought to myself, how deeply do I believe in this idea? And I think as we all question where we go from high school or where we go in life, that doubt is often a barrier. And I thought to myself, that professor doubted me. I have certainly doubted myself, but I believe so deeply in what I'm doing that I'm going to go for it anyway. And by the grace of some higher power, the mentor that was assigned to me was Dr. Laddie Kaur. Many of you may know Dr. Kaur is the former president of Arizona State University. Not a bad mentor to have. He knew everyone. And I walked into his office at the age of 21, just after I had graduated, and he asked me, what is it that I can do to help you? What is it that you need? I said, well, I need everything, right? I need money, I need a board, I need a lawyer, I need an accountant, I need a designer. Anytime you're starting an idea, you need a plethora of things. And I made a wish list. And that wish list is what I carried into that meeting and is a wish list that I carry still today. Because the doors that open when you have a vision and you have a dream and you have a reason for people to believe and to support you, that wish list goes a very long way. And Dr. Kaur opened up 2 pivotal doors for me, one to SRP and one to Intel. And they both gave a whopping $3,000. I now had $7,000. And we decided that that was enough in terms of cash, but more than that, the network that opened up thereafter generated $120,000 of free services. Free accountants, free lawyers, free graphic designers, people who believed in a 21-year-old kid with a dream. And so we started. And we started the pilot program in 4 schools in Mesa. Westwood High School was one of them. And the whole notion of the idea was to empower and prove that young people, if given the authority to create change, would do it. So we went onto campus in these 4 campuses, set up a team of 15 students in an after-school program, and started using the curriculum that we had built. And that curriculum was all about finding a problem that you see in the world, advocating for change to occur, educating the local community about the issue, and raising any funds that were necessary to move the needle. The students at Westwood High School identified the intersection at Westwood University to be incredibly dangerous. Students would leave campus, there's 3 schools on the street, kids would run the red light, parents would turn at the intersection, it was incredibly dangerous. And the students decided that they would lobby Mesa City Council. And when the students walked into Mesa City Council, they had black t-shirts on to join the movement. Now you can imagine Mesa City Council, 15 high school students walking in, which you all are not intimidating, black t-shirts on that said join the movement. City Council was terrified, absolutely terrified at young people that wanted change in their community. And the students made a compelling presentation. Transportation commissioners were out on site 5 days later, documenting the intersection, taking time trials. And eventually, the students met with the Vice City Mayor, the Transportation Commissioner, and they called a student in his homeroom class and said, here's our solution that we're proposing. We see a problem, here's what we're thinking of doing, putting an intersection light in, etc. Is this satisfactory? Now, I don't know about you, but being like a 70-year-old transportation commissioner calling a 15-year-old in the homeroom class asking if your solution's effective, the student called back and said no. Until you allow a certain number of cars to get through this intersection, I and my teammates are not going to stop because we want change. 2 days later, Channel 12 News was out on site and the intersection was changed. And what that proved to us in a microcosm was that if you give young people the authority to create change, you will do it every single time. That wasn't a surprise to me, and it wasn't a surprise to the people that were surrounding the students we were working with. And when I look at this generation, and I look at this audience, you all have the capacity to create change, and you all have the capacity to dream as big as you can about what that change looks like. And that pilot program year generated enough momentum that we raised close to $1 million following this pilot program. The Pat Tillman Foundation and a local philanthropy group called Social Venture Partners kicked in nearly $1 million to a 22-year-old at the time that had a dream of creating change. Youth is your greatest advantage. So we started and we scaled the model, and I'll cut to the chase. 7 years later, we were in 14 states and we had partnerships in 33 countries around the world. We'd become a global organization. I was 26 years old with a multi-million-dollar budget, an office in San Francisco, an office in Phoenix, and I had no idea what I was doing. But I had really good mentors and people that believed in me. And for the adults in the audience, for the parents in the audience, you have no idea the impact you have when you take a student's idea seriously. And so fast forwarding, as I was about to exit and transition out of this organization, I told my board of directors that I really wanted to leave it in a good position. And like any of us that have a good idea, you feel like it's a child. And now that I have a 2-year-old daughter, I can attest that the first 2 years, an idea will suck the life out of you just like a child will. Right? It's like you feed it constantly. It's restless nights. It keeps you up. The toddler years were certainly tumultuous with the organization. The teenage years, we went through a merger and we acquired another organization that was even more tumultuous. And then this organization had reached a stage of growth that I was sending it off to college. And like many parents in the audience tonight may feel, sending that off to college is about defining your own identity as much as it is about your student's identity. And what I decided was that I really wanted to set this organization up just like I would a kid with a scholarship fund, something that would help them, the organization, move to the next stage. And so I told my board of directors that I wanted to raise $1 million endowment. Endowment, for those that may not know, is a big pocket of money that sits in the stock market and spins off earnings every year so it can fund an organization forever, in perpetuity. And I told my board, this was in 2008, 2009, right after the crash, that I wanted to raise $1 million. I said, you're crazy. No one's raising money, everybody's closing the doors. But the power of an idea is real. And I got a phone call not but a month later from a community foundation saying we have $1 million donor who wants to invest in a nonprofit organization that is educating young people about global issues, empowering them to create change, has ties to the East Valley, which is where this donor was from and obviously where we started. And ideally, this organization has some sort of international impact, which we were already in 10 states at the time. And I thought, this is it. I'm gonna get $1 million. Like, where do I sign? Like, tell me what I need to do. So while there's gonna be 9 months of interviews and rounds, we're inviting national thought leaders and all these other organizations from across the country and around the world. Like, the stakes are low, stakes are high and the risk is low, et cetera. Like, super complicated to get $1 million out of the community foundation. I said, great, we'll submit the application. So we go through round and round and round of interview. 9 months later, we get the call that we're in the final 2. My heart races every time I tell this story. And as I'm going into this final interview, I'm thinking to myself, who is it that could possibly be this other organization? After all of this effort, who possibly could be competing against us? And who walked out of the interview? But the professor that told me that I couldn't start a nonprofit. Arizona State University, College of Public Programs, the very professor that doubted me years prior was the one we were going up against. And I walked into that interview and threw it all on the line. I thought, this is it. And after the interview, I took a trip to Baltimore, Maryland, Orioles game, of all places, sitting 3 rows up from first plate, thinking to myself, they're gonna call anytime, watching my phone. And I got the phone call, Arizona Community Foundation, and you've never seen someone haul so fast up a flight of stairs, trying to be professional and much, cheering fans. And the gentleman on the phone says, I understand that you're elsewhere. I'll be brief. You've won the $1 million endowment. Thanks. And as I replay the story in my mind, like Orioles hit a home run and like the cheering fans and the whole stadium erupts. And that for me was the culmination of a dream that had been materialized. So I transitioned out of that organization, and because of good mentors and because of people that believed in me, went on to create and really empower other people that had dreams of making the world a better place. And I'll end the story here with the notion that all of us have a seed of an idea. All of us have that 5-year-old inside of us. And if you've ever had a raspberry seed lodged in your back molar, right, it's super annoying, right? You can put in a piece of gum and it pops out. But for those that keep it stuck, the ideas that stick with us, you can't dismiss them. And the work that I'm doing now at Seed Spot is all about helping those seeds of an idea see the light of day. We're 5 years in, we've supported over 300 entrepreneurs, and now run a high school program that I'm really proud is here at Red Mountain. And if you didn't hear the news, the Red Mountain High School Social Entrepreneurship Team won the audience prize last Saturday of $2,500, and I had nothing to do with the judging on that. So, I'll part by saying if I personally can be a resource to anyone in this auditorium, specifically the young people that have dreams, as an alum, as a woman, as a human being, I will do anything in my power to support the ideas that live inside of all of you. So congratulations on being the best of Red Mountain, a proud alum, and congratulations for the parents who are proud here tonight and the educators who are supporting them. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Wow. That's not what I got by reading her bylaw on LinkedIn last night. Excellent. Well, thank you, Courtney, for those words to the students and families, and I encourage you all to, at whatever opportunity, perhaps, any dream is realizable. So, that's great. Excellent. We are going to begin now with the awards portion of our evening. I would like to introduce Ms. Catherine Bianchi and Ms. Laura Contreras, who will present the Academic Advisement Awards.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Bianchi, and Laura Contreras and I are student advisors here at Red Mountain. We're happy to be here tonight, and we will be announcing the next few awards. Will Brandon Good and Brennan Cockrell please come forward?
Ask them to start coming to this side.
And students, when you can come up, if you could come over to this side, just like he's doing. The Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Program, or HOBie, is designed to seek out, recognize, and develop leadership potential in high school sophomores. Every summer, the selected students participate in leadership seminars in their respective states. At Red Mountain High School, the selection process is based on both a written response section and an interview process. Due to the outstanding academic achievement and leadership skills of these two sophomores, I am pleased to recognize Brandon Good and Brennan Cockrell as the 2017 Red Mountain High School HOBie Ambassadors.
It's my privilege this evening to introduce you to the top 20 sophomore students in our current class of sophomores, which it numbers more than 800. So these students are definitely to be recognized. Would the following students please join us on stage? We ask that you hold your applause until they're all up here, please. Adrian Kwiatkowski, Anna Hurway, Brandon Garcia, Brandon Good, Caleb Schweeder, D'Angelo Perez, Geethika Amaneni, Grace Buckley, Grace Maston, Hermance Luff, Jennifer Feuerstein, Jose Apodaca, Kayla Brooks, Kayla Coxon, Megan Castile, Nicole Ewing, Rachel Livingston, Shakira Borders, Shelby Davis, Skylar Gilmore, Victoria Hall, and Wyatt Apple. Okay. These individuals have displayed outstanding academic achievement and have challenged themselves with honors and AP coursework. Each student holds well over a 4.0 core GPA. Red Mountain looks forward to great things from all of these individuals in the upcoming years. Congratulations to all of you for your accomplishment.
The junior class is currently our largest class on campus with 868 students. Would the following students please come up on stage? Abigail Mann, Alyssa Honorio, Anthony Procopio, Ashlyn Laird, Cole Leslie, Courtney Tetlow, Drake Miller, Elliot Baker, Haley Pence, Julia Bray, Kelsey Bergfeld, Lauren Hardy, Maymuna Elmi, Megan Phillips, Maya Ramos, Nicodemus Bakalaitis, Tamara Allen, Thomas DeMassa, Trinity Wolf, and Whitney Forrest. These individuals represent the Red Mountain Way with traits of academic courage and determination. They have maintained over a 4.0 core GPA in rigorous coursework while displaying leadership in the classroom. Congratulations on your accomplishments. Red Mountain is proud of you.
Will Ariana Combs please come to the stage? So Ariana is the recipient of the 2017 Arizona Affiliate Award from the National Center for Women and Information Technology. She also received an honorable mention for the national award. Ariana attended an awards banquet at ASU through the Ira A. Fulton School of Engineering, and as a result of her recognition, she is the winner of a $4,000 scholarship to ASU and 2 plaques which will remain on display here at Red Mountain. We'd like to congratulate Ariana. Good job, honey.
As Red Mountain Service Learning Coach, I'm also here tonight to recognize Red Mountain students who have committed themselves to serving our school and our community with pride and leadership. Our current Red Mountain students have accumulated over 91,000 hours, and those are just the ones that they've recorded. The following students have earned the most service hours in their grade level. Could the following 9th graders please come up on stage, and you'll line up here right in front. Jade Medina, Brendan Agee, Preston Haynes, Caitlin Navarrete, and Jessica McKissick. These students have dedicated time to ROTC, video production, Boredom Busters, and Red Mountain's leadership and service learning classes. Congratulations, freshmen, and way to get started early on your service hours. We might stop for a quick picture. I see some cameras in the audience, so. All right, one more round of applause, please. Could the following 10th graders please come up on stage? Skylar Gilmore, Juliana Rodriguez, Jillian McComsky, Shelby Davis, and Sarah Hernandez. Come on up, please. These students have participated with service in digital publication studios, Spanish Club, National Honor Society, the Mesa Public Library, Relay for Life, the Boys and Girls Club, and the Mesa Public School Science Department. Congratulations to our sophomores. Could the following 11th graders please come up on stage? Lauren Hardy, Natasha Fox, Sammy Villanueva, Madison Bowen, Maymuna Elmi, and those are our 5. Come on up. These students have been busy with Red Mountain tutoring, sports medicine, link crew, yearbook, and journalistic writing. Fantastic job, juniors, and congratulations. And could the following 12th graders please come up on stage? Rebecca Moser with 713 hours, Shelby Mueller with 890 hours, Megan Nielsen with 1,022 hours, Jessica Stucker with 1,104 hours, Evan Harris with 1,146 hours, and Kara Gardner with 1,510 hours. I am so very proud of this dedicated group, and they have come so far since their freshman year. These students have given their hearts and souls to contribute to the Valley of the Sun Dog Rescue, Plasma Robotics, Barrow Neurological Institute, Southwest Wildlife, and the Mesa Public Library. Thanks for being such great leaders and for having hearts of gold. Congratulations to all of our seniors.
Okay, I'd like to call the following students to the stage. I know some of you have been up here, but if you'll join me, Zachary Barber, Maymuna Elmi, Whitney Forrest, Ashlyn Laird, Drake Miller, Megan Phillips, Jacob Spear, Courtney Tetlow, and Trinity Wolf. The National Merit Scholarship Program is an academic competition for recognition and scholarships that began in 1955. Over 1.6 million high school juniors enter the National Merit Program each year by taking the preliminary SAT or PSAT. In the fall of this school year, Red Mountain High School administered the PSAT to over 1,400 sophomore and junior students on campus as preparation and practice for taking college entrance exams. As a result of this year's test administration, we would like to acknowledge these 9 students who have qualified for the next step of the National Merit Scholarship Competition by scoring among the top 1% of all students in the nation on the PSAT. We will receive, go ahead, clap, that's awesome. So we will receive notification in late August with results of the scholarship competition, so stay tuned for some exciting updates. Please join me once again in congratulating these fine students for their academic accomplishments and recognition.
right, well, I'm going to leave it down here. Can you hear me? Excellent. Now we are going to proceed with the ABC Department Awards. We're going to do this a little bit differently this year, and we are not going to go in ABC order. Thank you. More people laugh than just my child tonight. Excellent. So, the first department that is going to go is World Languages, presented by Mr. Rodney Cole. Students, please enter on this side, and let's wait until the entire department is up here to applaud for everybody, okay? All right, here we go. Do we switch things around?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Torrey, and I'm the STEM coordinator here at Red Mountain High School. If I could please have Juliana Good and Jacob Andrus come up. Juliana is an outstanding STEM student who has a passion for music. Juliana participated in the engineering program while also continuing to be a major asset to our music department. She has a true passion for music, and it shows when you watch her play. Juliana has always exemplified the qualities of a student who will continue on her life and do amazing things. Her dedication to her schoolwork is unparalleled. She is an ambitious student that demonstrates what it takes to be a successful STEM scholar and sets an ideal example for future students. It is with great pleasure that Red Mountain recognizes Juliana Good for her excellence in this year's Advanced STEM program. Jacob is an outstanding Advanced STEM student in the engineering program also. He is being nominated for the Advanced STEM Award because of the hard work and dedication he has put forth in this program over the last 3 years. Jacob manages to keep up his grades while pursuing the Advanced STEM Diploma, which is rigorous all on its own, but also manages to be a valuable member of our MHS cross-country team. He is an ambitious student that demonstrates what it takes to be a successful STEM scholar. It is with great pleasure to recognize Jacob Andrus for this excellence in the Advanced STEM program as well.
Okay, so I jumped the gun a little. So actually now it's going to be Mr. Ryan, who is going to present some awards, and then we'll do the department awards.
I don't know about you, but when Courtney was sharing her story, I really wanted to meet that professor and tell him what I thought of him. So I'm really glad at the end of the day you got the leg up. So congratulations on that. I feel very inferior standing over there by you, though. You're kind of intimidating. So anyway, she's incredibly impressive. So tonight I have the honor of giving a few awards. One of the things I do want to say, thanks to Patty and all of the hard work of our ABC boosters, the awards that the students are receiving on the inside cover are actually the words that are written by the teachers that nominate them. And so rather than having something that maybe goes on a shelf somewhere, this is something that we hope students, when they're our age, can look back and really remember the impact they had on the adults that they're with every day. So anyway, a pretty valuable token, and we really thank them for that. I would like the following students to come up here with me, please. Xavier Medina and Justine Davis. If the two of you could come up here with me, please, I'd appreciate it. Tonight, Justine is receiving the Pillar of Leadership Award. Justine is an absolute incredible young lady, and there are some words that have been written about her that I'd like to share. It's an honor to recognize Justine Davis for the Red Mountain Way Award at Red Mountain High School. Justine has led others by example through numerous clubs at Red Mountain within our community. Justine always displays a positive, can-do attitude, and she's ready to lend a hand at a moment's notice. Over the years, Justine has been a mentor for Lion Link Crew, a contributing member of the National Honor Society, and has volunteered her time with Fremont's Builders Club. her church, and Relay for Life. Justine demonstrates outstanding character in and out of the classroom, and she inspires others through her heartfelt dedication to all aspects of her life, as well as the lives of others. Justine Davis is one of Red Mountain's most esteemed students and is a stellar example for the Pillar of Leadership Award. Justine, congratulations. All right. Xavier, man, just awesome having him here on stage. Earlier this year, we weren't sure if he'd be standing here with us and able to join us, and Xavier has overcome a lot, and I'd like to share a couple words. Xavier is receiving the Pillar of Courage Award for Red Mountain High School. It's an honor to recognize Xavier for the Red Mountain Way Courage Award. Xavier is an amazing young man. After facing the adversity of a tragic accident that almost took his life, he battled back to be an extraordinary example to others. He's taught us that overcoming such a tragedy gives meaning to life. Since Xavier has returned to school, he's taught others that happiness doesn't lie in another trip to the mall or a bigger house or any external attainment. He has talked about the spiritual experience he had while he was injured and has always been courageous enough to share his story with classmates. The courage Xavier has shown after being told he may never walk or talk again is incredible. Throughout his recovery, Xavier pushed himself to achieve more than his doctors thought possible, and in that process, he became more confident. We're very proud of Xavier's accomplishments and honored to recognize him with the Courage Award this evening. Xavier, thank you. All right, you guys can go back now. Thank you. All right, I have one final award that I would like to give tonight, and it's the Pillar of Influence Award, and I would like to ask Mr. Marks to please come on over and accept the Pillar of Influence Award. So, this man to my left, I can't say enough positive things about. He has the absolute most difficult job of any of us in many ways. He not only oversees student council and clubs and activities and field trips and all of that, he handles student discipline for 3,500 students on our campus, which thankfully isn't always a busy day. But here's the thing with Mr. Marks. Every single situation, no matter what it is, he is the eternal optimist. Every single time he steps into my office, every single time we have a conversation, it is, yeah, but there's a silver lining to this. Yeah, there's a positive side to this. He has influenced me tremendously. He's retiring from Mesa Public Schools at the end of this year, and it is not going to be easy to replace the things that he has done for me, the things that he's done for our campus, and things that he continues to do for students. David Marks is one of Red Mountain's most esteemed leaders and qualifies influence as one of the pillars of Red Mountain Way. He's influenced all of us with his charismatic personality and relentless pursuit of helping those around him. Quite simply, David is a giver. His time, his heart, his commitment have been a prime reason our school has experienced such a high level of success. His focus on what is in the best interest of students while supporting adults is second to none. He single-handedly supported our student leadership, performing arts, special education programs, while also handling virtually all student conflicts which arise. His calm demeanor and positive outlook are both great examples for all of us. Red Mountain is a better place because of David Marks, and for that reason, he's receiving the Influence Award tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Going to miss Mr. Marks. All right, so we will now start the department awards, and I won't subject you to my joke again, okay? So we will start with the world languages. Mr. Cole.
Ich heiße Herr Kohl. Ich bin der Abteilungschef von der Fremdsprachenabteilung an der Red Mountain High School. I am Herr Kohl, and I am privileged to be the department chair of world languages here at Red Mountain High School. And I'd like to indicate also thank you to the ABC for letting us go first this year. You may notice that everything is alphabetized except for world languages. I think that's because we are all world languages. Well, which we were. Okay. And yeah, we're first this year. Thank you so much. I would like to ask the following individuals to come to the stage, and if you could please hold your applause until all of them are up here, that'd be wonderful. First, Marissa Sandoval, and then Kayla Brooks, Maren Fox, Madison Moore, I call her Louisa, but Sarah Hashish, Victoria Stout, and Samantha Chung. Oh, one more, Neil Gamble. And I'd like to say that we have 8 awards in world languages, 4 for class. So our outstanding world language freshman, our outstanding world language sophomore, junior, and senior. Okay, stay here, please. And then we have an outstanding language student per language. So outstanding German and French and Spanish and Chinese. And when I have the write-ups of their teachers in front of me, they're pretty much the same. Thoughtful, insightful, walking dictionary, great at collaborating, responsible, hardworking, caring, enthusiastic, speaks great German, courageous, and so on. What I'd like to have them do is those that are for the class, so freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, I'd like to have you say that you love your language in your language, please. And those are the outstanding language student per language, which is for Spanish, French, German, and Chinese, if you'd say something more than that. So we'll let them talk for a second here.
J'adore française.
Me gusta español. Ich liebe die deutsche Sprache und ich habe keine Ahnung, was sonst ich sagen sollte. Also.
J'adore français.
Thank you so much. You are wonderful. Could we get all of them? We didn't get Chinese.
I'm French.
Okay, come up, French.
J'adore le français et j'adore le Red Mountain.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Me encanta el español y gracias muchísimo por este honor. ¡Olé!
These young people, it takes a lot to excel in a world language, and each of them has one thing that's they share in for sure, and that's a love of language. And with a love of language, they can go far in this life because it's important to be able to speak more than one language. Okay. Big hand of applause for them. Thanks, guys.
Good evening. My name is Julie now. I'm the Art and CTE Department Chair, which is the joy of my job. I love walking around and visiting all the classes and seeing all the things that your kids are doing and making. It's great. Recommend that. Since I have 2 departments, I have a lot of students to recognize. I'm going to start with the art department students and then break up the rest of the CTE kids into 2 groups. So first, our winners for art, Sophia Judd, Cyan Muldrow, Megan Horn, Tabitha Plants, Victoria Strandberg, Mia Costa, Manuel Lopez Beltran, and Ashley Kuntz. I wish I could read everything that your teachers have said about you. Shorten it up a little bit. I'm just going to read a selection of statements. Parents, I strongly encourage you to read their awards once you get them. It's lovely to read the things that your teachers have said about your children. Sophia has a definite future in the arts with her creative and amazing technical skills. Her dedication to excellence is unmatched. Cyan was amazing in drawing and has been taking painting to the next level with great technical and creative skills. She has a very mature work ethic. We look forward to her making it big in the art world. Megan is inquisitive, compassionate, and self-motivated. She is unbelievably talented, and her artwork is meticulous in its craftsmanship as well as expressive in its creativity. Tabitha has been one of the most delightful students I have had the opportunity to teach. She is wildly creative with talent and skills that make her one of the top students in my art program. Ceramics. My students, I didn't shorten as much as I should have, but one of the biggest challenges of working with teenagers, I found anyway, is teaching them the value of perseverance, trial and error, and that a challenge is not something to be avoided but embraced. In the 2 years I have known Victoria, she has never been one to turn away from something that's challenged her. Feedback and criticism are never the end for her, they are just her next step. All of this practice has led to a nuanced understanding of light and composition, and I'm so excited to see what she will accomplish in the coming years. And then Mia Acosta for excellence in photography. My joy has been having the privilege to be a part of her life the last 3 years, and I see the evolution of who she is and who she is becoming reflected in her art and how she chooses to interact with the world. This girl is going to be, and already is, the brightest light, and I will love seeing what she does with it. Manuel is an outstanding sculpturist who focuses on craftsmanship and technical aspects to achieve a flawless appearance in his artwork. He has the patience, talent, and creativity that makes him stand out. And finally, Ashley has gone above and beyond in her designs in digital illustration, taking initiative and trying new things to become a better artist. She seeks feedback and continually strives to improve. Congratulations. Okay, CTE. Camille Unsworth, Ciara Anderson, Noah Smith, Aaron Harris, Jacob Toms, David Sevilla, Brock Witt, I thought I had that marked, and Daniel Davis. Okay, so this group. For sports med, Camille is one of the most caring individuals we have had in the sports med program. She handles life, school, sports med, and special medical with ease. She's always there communicating with coaches, athletes, and me to make sure that the optimal care for the athletes is achieved. And Ciara Anderson for first-year student trainer in sports med. Ciara is extremely responsible and dependable. She has a great mix of sense of humor, seriousness, and the pure craziness that is required to be successful in athletics. Excellence in video productions. Noah is an outstanding RMTV student. He has been one of the most creative students I have ever taught. He has a great eye for cinema, and I look forward to seeing him become a very successful in the industry. Aaron Harris, outstanding senior in RMTV. Aaron is an exceptional RMTV student and has been a member of RMTV for 4 years and was our distinguishing member. Aaron was offered the district internship, and he will be greatly missed. Jacob Toms for the Golden Wrench Award. Jacob has a passion for automobiles and an inherent ability to diagnose and repair any faults they may have. He has demonstrated maturity and dedication to the automotive class and is always willing to delve into new projects, whether they are big or small. David Sevilla for the Silver Wrench Award demonstrates an excellent work ethic and is always ready for a new repair task. David is a pleasure to have around and well liked by his peers, and I look forward to having him in Auto 3. Brock Witt for the Golden Electrode Award. Brock is an exceptional welding student at Red Mountain. It is not often you have a student as talented as Brock who has taken on the challenge of certification. I am proud of his accomplishments, obtaining 3 welding certifications, those are industry certifications, and will truly miss his efforts here at Red Mountain. Daniel Davis for the Silver Electrode Award. Daniel is an exceptional welding student at Red Mountain. He has demonstrated the ability to weld by taking on every project that I could throw at him. I am pleased that he will be returning in the fall to be part of the award-winning welding team for 2017-18. Congratulations. Okay, my last group. Jeffrey Bay, singer. Natalie Overa. Emma Reuter. Stephanie Alspa. Gage Heiner. And Clayton Thomas. So Jeffrey, outstanding computer tech student. Jeffrey is an exceptional computer tech student. It has been a pleasure working with him on the computer maintenance program at Red Mountain. He is always willing to learn and strengthen his skills. Natalie. Natalie was part of the group that the seed spot group that Courtney was referring to that won on Saturday. From the beginning of this year, she stood out as an exceptional student in person. Not only does she excel personally, but she helps other students by challenging their ideas. I'm continually impressed by her ability to inspire others and challenge herself. Emma Reuter, outstanding education professional and student. Emma is an enthusiastic student who clearly has a gift for working with students. Emma works with the English language learners here at Red Mountain, and her personality, work ethic, and personal character are factors that contribute to her success in the completion of her duties and responsibilities as a teacher cadet. Stephanie, outstanding early childhood professions student. Stephanie is a natural when it comes to working with young children. The preschoolers light up every time she walks in the room, and she will undoubtedly excel in her future as a successful teacher. Gage, for outstanding culinary arts student. Gage is truly one of the kindest and happiest students I have ever had the pleasure of having in class. I truly believe Gage will accomplish anything he sets his mind to and see him having a successful future. I am thankful I got to know him and to be his teacher. And Clayton, outstanding advanced culinary arts student. Clayton has shown so much effort not only in class but also in extra tasks that he has been asked to complete, including competing at FCCLA. I appreciate Clayton for his positive attitude, his drive for success, and his determination to successfully complete tasks. Thank you. Congratulations.
I still want you to steal my speech.
Good evening, I'm Kevin Hicks. I'm the agriculture teacher here on campus at Red Mountain High School. And I'd like to introduce and bring up to the stage here Carly Chisholm and Liana Leibdahl as they walk up. First, I want to talk about Carly, who's getting the Most Active FFA Student Award tonight. Carly has been the most outstanding and dedicated FFA member that we have. She is at all events and is a great influence on those around her. She's a great advocate for the industry and helps other students she meets. Carly's leadership has grown so much as she strives to help others to do the same. It was a great pleasure for me to recognize her as the CT department's most active FFA student. Liana is an exceptional ag student. Liana has been a student that is always trying new things and wanting to improve her knowledge of all ag fields. She has gone above and beyond when it comes to her agricultural projects. Her desire to learn and become a better agriculturalist is impressive. It is a great pleasure that I recognize Liana for this year's outstanding agricultural science students. Give them a hand. Congratulations.
Good evening, my name is Jan Sequella, and I'm the advisor to the Red Mountain publication programs, including the Roar magazine and the Pinnacle yearbook. Tonight I have the privilege of honoring two of my outstanding students. Paul Stanton and Alana Ramirez, will you please come up here? Well, I don't see Paul, but I will talk about him. From the first day that I met Paul, he impressed me with his ability to be articulate about difficult concepts and texts. His passion for writing and creative expression both in and out of the classroom is exceptional, which made him a perfect fit for editor-in-chief of the Roar magazine. Paul's inquisitive nature, analytical mind, and passion to learn, as well as a 2-week intensive hands-on summer program at Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, motivated him to develop and implement our first online Roar magazine this year. Paul has demonstrated an openness to and an empathy for opinions, feelings, and perspectives of others, along with a shrewd powers of observation, all qualities that make him an outstanding choice for the Academic Booster Club Award as Outstanding Roar Magazine Editor-in-Chief. Next, I have Alana Ramirez. As Editor-in-Chief of the Pinnacle Yearbook, Alana Ramirez demonstrates diligence, perseverance, and optimism that is critical to the success of publishing an award-winning yearbook. She is always a pleasure to have in class, and her positive attitude, even in the face of difficulty, like critical publication deadlines, is an immensely admirable asset. She is truly a standout individual who impresses everyone she meets. Everyone from her teachers to her track coach to the school's athletic director speak about her talent, intelligence, charisma, strong values, and respect for others, which makes her an excellent choice for the Academic Booster Club Award as Outstanding Yearbook Editor-in-Chief.
Thank you so much.
Good evening again. My name is Barbara Torrey, and I am a biomedical science instructor. I would like to call to the stage Justine Davis and Brandon Navarez, please. Justine has a dedication to biomedical science that is amazing. From the beginning of her time in biomed through her senior year, she has excelled in every aspect of our program. She is an amazing student and person who has the drive and the determination that will make her successful in any aspect of medicine that she chooses to pursue. It is with great pleasure to recognize Justine Davis for a Biomed Award at Red Mountain High School. Brandon is a student filled with passion for life and passion for medicine. He is the first to volunteer for any event, always bringing his infectious smile and positive energy. Brandon has put forth significant effort, greatly benefiting the biomedical science program as well as Red Mountain High School. It is an honor to recognize such an enthusiastic individual for this year's CTE Biomed Award at Red Mountain High School. Congratulations.
Good evening. My name is Adam Middleton, and I am the engineering instructor here. And I would like to invite Paige Lotman and Brandon Rice onto the stage. Paige is a first-year student in our engineering program this year, and she has wasted no time setting herself apart as an exemplary student. She puts an incredible amount of care and thought into everything that she does. She's an enthusiastic participant in class, and she works incredibly well with her peers. She solves problems that are incredibly complex, well beyond the scope of our classroom, and comes up with incredibly unique solutions that constantly impress me. I have no doubt that Paige has an incredibly successful career ahead of her, and I look forward to working with her in the future years. It is my pleasure to recognize Paige Lotman as one of this year's CTE Engineering Outstanding Achievement Award winners. Brandon Rice is a senior in our engineering program this year, and it has been my distinct pleasure to work with him over the past 2 years. Brandon is involved in pretty much everything engineering and robotics related on this campus, so if you happen to have seen anything, Brandon probably had a hand in it. Whether it is VEX Robotics, FIRST Robotics, aerospace competitions, the team's competition, or continually taking on projects of his own in my class, he is constantly demonstrating his ability to be creative and innovative. He is one of the most dedicated students that I've had the opportunity to work with, and he is a large reason that the engineering program on our campus exists in the way that it does. It is my distinct pleasure to recognize Brandon Rice as one of this year's Red Mountain CTE Department Engineering Award winners.
Hello, I'm Katie Gazda, and I am the instructor of the biotechnology program. I'd like to ask Adrian Kwiatkowski and Talea Taumanu to come to the stage. So science is truly about trying, failing, learning, and repeating. Adrian Kwiatkowski fully embodies this philosophy, and this young man is just so persistent that he turns failures into a lot of successes, and he's incredibly humble about it when he does that. So that's why I've awarded him the Excellence in Biotechnology Award. And Ms. Talea Taumanu, in the world of science, like I said, kind of fail and have to repeat. And she also has this persistence and then this optimism. She never got down when things didn't go the way we hoped. And she also persisted and has this uncandid ability to be confident in the work. She just knows she's going to be a scientist one day, and I'm so proud of her for that. So she's also getting the Excellence in Biotechnology Award. So sorry, actually stay on stage. So sorry. And can I call up the other science fair, state science fair competitors? So I'm also the science fair coordinator, since I was up here, we're going to highlight all those students. You walked past them in the lobby with their research projects. And as they make their way to stage, I'll just highlight that science fair is an opportunity for students to investigate and present any topic that they have a passion for. There's 22 categories in the science fair, so we really can fit a project into anything. So the students who are now coming on to the stage were the top 20 scoring projects here at Red Mountain, and they went on to the district science fair, and each of them took first place in their category at the district science fair, and then they moved on and competed at the state science fair. So I'm going to introduce each student and their project, and if you guys could give a wave or something so they know who each of you are. Megan Castile studied a project of observing behavior in its relation to reward. At state, she took third place in the behavioral and social sciences category. Carrie Gardner studied the effect of beta-hydroxybutyrate on histone deoxylase activity and DNA damage repair with glioma stem cells. Translation, she looked at a revolutionary treatment to brain cancer. Skylar Gilmore, you can clap, they did well. Skylar Gilmore did a study on how various size quadcopter blades affects the max height of a quadcopter in normal weather conditions, and he took third place in the engineering mechanics at state. Lauren Hardy studied the academic conformity among AP students. Adrian Kwiatkowski studied the effects of carboxylate anion glutamate exposure on the degradation, motor functions, and development of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis-like symptoms reversed through the promotion of neurogenesis by docosahexaenoic acid in C. elegans. So translation on that, he was focusing on the treatment for ALS, and he took second place in the cellular and molecular biology category at state. Mason Mineta studied spinning platonic solids, and his project awarded him an invitation to the National Junior Science and Humanities Symposium in San Diego last month, where he got to meet Nobel laureates and do a lot of collaboration and networking with some amazing scientists. Jacob Payne studied the modification of buildings based on termite mounds. And Talea Tamonu studied the effects of UV exposure on protein expression. So we're all very proud of you guys, and we hope you continue on with research in your future.
Thanks, Casa.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Kubrick, and I'm representing the English department tonight. I'm going to call up the names of the students, and then as they're coming up, I'll go ahead and read a little bit of what some of their teachers said about them. Can I please have Umberto Ombra, Mason Mineta, Jennifer I had it earlier, Feuerstein, Katie Grover, Andrew Willis, Robin Jackson, Jeremy Leftwich, Katie Smith, and Gafika Amanini. For Umberto, Ms. Ramsey says that he is a shining example of a fine student. His classmates know that he will be kind and helpful to all people around him. He is a model of what the Red Mountain Way is. He shows courage, respect, and influence in everything that he does. For Mason, Ms. Martin says that Mason exemplifies the best of the best. Mason is eager to share and help others in their pursuit of new skills. His class can count on Mason to be the voice of dissent when building an argument merely because the challenge is there. For 10th grade, Ms. Anderson says that Jenny always goes above and beyond expectations. Combined with her affable demeanor and her courageousness in diving into discussions where others hesitate, these qualities make Jenny a truly exceptional academic in the study of English. For Katie, Ms. Gerard said it has been her distinct pleasure to have Katie in class this year. Whether she's helping to clarify a concept for another student, posing a question to deepen discussion, or offering a new perspective for the topic of study, Katie is a student whose presence elevates the class and positively impacts those around her. For 11th grade, Ms. Udall says that Andrew doesn't just listen to what is said, he thinks about what he is learning. Andrew challenges both himself and his peers to view ideas from different perspectives, and he supports others in their learning. Andrew consistently demonstrates the characteristics of a strong student, not only in English, but in life. Ms. Edens says that Robin has a contagious, positive attitude and an unstoppable desire to learn. Robin is happy to help her peers, and she's a role model for all of her classmates. Robin is such a joy to have as a student, and she will be successful at whatever she decides to venture in the future. Now for 12th grade, for our seniors. Miss Williams says of Jeremy, from the first day of class, Jeremy has demonstrated his deep insights about literature. While respectfully listening to others' opinions, he persuasively shares his own ideas, deepening their understanding and appreciation for the texts that they read. He is a privilege to teach and to know. For Katie, Ms. Williams again says Katie is a true bibliophile, exuding a passion for literature that is contagious. She is a leader in the class, deeply analyzing the texts they read and encouraging fellow students to do the same. With her intelligence, focus, skill, and overall enthusiasm for learning and life, Katie will go on to influence those around her for years to come. And last but not least, Gathika is the STEM Cambridge English student, and Ms. Sokol says that Gathika is an outstanding young lady. She is bright, focused, and always ahead of the curve. She's conscientious of what is happening in the world around her, and she brings her insight about the world and society into class to deepen their discussions and their writing. Gathika will do great things here at Red Mountain, but she will also do great things in the scientific career that she is pursuing. Congratulations to all of our outstanding English students. Thank you, guys.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Robbins. I'm a math teacher here at Red Mountain High School, and I'm going to be representing the math department giving out the Outstanding Achievement Awards. I would like to call the students up first, and then I'll read short excerpts from what their respective teachers wrote about them and why they received their rewards. So I'm going to say the names quickly. Maya Chatham, Elijah Reeb, Vincent Moore, Abigail Gukin, Lauren Hardy, Thomas DeMassa, Camille Unsworth, and Nicholas Ardovan. No, wait.
No, I'm going to put her on that side so we can
Oh, okay. All right, you amazing students. When I say your name, I'd like you to acknowledge that by raising your hand so the audience knows who they're listening and who we're talking about. Maya Chatham is the outstanding freshman math student for Honors Algebra 2. This short excerpt says, Honors Algebra 2 is an accelerated class combining Algebra 2 and Trig in a one-year course designed for advanced sophomores. Maya is consistently at the top of her class, has an exceptionally high math aptitude, and this is reflected in her all-around perfect student, and she is a pleasure to have in class. That is Maya Chatham, Freshman Math Student Outstanding Achievement Award. Elijah Reeb, outstanding freshman math student for Calculus AB. Elijah's ability to influence the dynamics of how his fellow classmates see mathematics is magical and truly commendable. It is an honor and a privilege to recognize Elijah Reeb for this award. Vincent Moore, outstanding math student for Calculus AB. Vincent's not here, is he? Okay. Let's read about that. Vincent is one of Red Mountain's spectacularly gifted students that has excellent math skills as well as great conceptual understanding of math. Along with his outstanding academic performance, Vincent is very friendly and is always willing to help others and other students who may be struggling with the concepts at hand and enjoys helping others. Abigail Gukin is the outstanding sophomore math student for Calculus AB. Abby loves to study the extension of math problems and ask questions about new and interesting things that she might be seeing and studying in other courses and how these things are related to our past and current studies. Abigail is an ideal example of Red Mountain High School's mountain lion. She shows courage in new and difficult situations. She respects everyone regardless of ability and influences others to have a brighter day in their academic studies. Lauren Hardy.
Outstanding junior math student for calculus BC. She has an excellent conceptual and abstract understanding of the underlying structure of mathematics that allows her to see through the surface noise that exists in many problems. Another excerpt is, she does a great job of explaining how and why a particular problem can be solved a certain way rather than just providing the answer. Lauren is very wise and practical, and she exhibits the courage to speak her mind in a positive way. Thomas DeMassa, outstanding junior math student, AP Calculus BC. First and foremost, Thomas is an outstanding young man as he embodies the Red Mountain Way. Thomas treats everyone with respect and is very well respected by his classmates and the staff here at Red Mountain High School. Thomas is an exceptional math student. He performs at a very high level, in part due to his excellent work ethic and strong analytical mind, but also because he has a great deal of intellectual curiosity. Thomas enjoys learning for the sake of learning. Camille Unsworth, outstanding senior math student for Calculus BC. Camille has a great sense of humor and often has entertaining tales about her experiences in working through difficult problems. Camille is mentally very strong. She has had some health challenges that have made her life difficult at times. In spite of this, Camille powers through and finds a way to still be successful at a very high level. All the while, she managed to maintain a wise and positive perspective on life and school. Nicholas Ardovan, outstanding senior math student for AP Statistics. In short, Nick may be the brightest math student to take AP Statistics in the 6 years that the course has been offered at Red Mountain High School. He has an exceptionally strong analytical skills coupled with a great desire to gain knowledge and understanding. He has a great passion for mathematics. Through his hard work and intellectual capacity, Nick has the ability to look at challenging problems that normally require a great deal of time and effort to solve, and he can often sketch out a solution technique almost immediately. The one thing about all of our students in the math department that receive these awards, they are truly magical, gifted young people, and they actually really do enjoy doing math on a day-to-day basis. They all have the ability to articulate themselves very well, and it shows day after day in class by helping their fellow peers. Thank you. You're welcome.
Good evening, I'm Matt Erickson. I'm the theater teacher here representing the Performing Arts Department. If I could call up the following students: Amber Looper, Claire Heckel, Brandon Good, Isabel Coletta, Manolyn Larson, Anthony Procopio, Desmond O'Connell, and Juliana Good. We'll read a little blurb about each one of them. Good, how you doing? Good. Amber Looper is a freshman here. In her first year has already had a major impact on the theater program. Little Shop of Horrors, she was one of the doo-wop girls. In The Odd Couple, the female version, she played Vera. She's very dedicated to the program and its success this year. Claire Heckel is a strong member of both choir and theater. Claire is an integral part of a program that teaches theater kids with special needs. One of the main projects is producing a musical for these students, and Claire is a leader within this program. Brandon Good continued to excel as a sophomore by earning first chair bassoon in North Central Regional Orchestra for the second year in a row, and second chair bassoon section of the All-State Band. His bright and cheerful personality continues to positively influence students in our performing arts program. I didn't write that. Isabel is a sophomore, and her impact is felt throughout the entire department as she has taken on lighting design for all events that happen in this auditorium. Isabella was named All-State for Tech this year, and she designs the lights for the dance productions, musicals, concerts, various other events, and whatever else we ask her to do. Mandy is a strong leader in the performing arts. She shared her gifts in both our top choirs and the Red Mountain Fall Musical Little Shop of Horrors, where she held the lead role of Audrey. She earned first chair at the alto in the North Central Honor Choir and earned for the third year in a row placement in the All-State Honor Choir. Anthony Procopio is an exceptional performer, composer, musician who's extremely driven toward success. This year he made it to the All-State Jazz Choir, All-State Show Choir, All-State Honor Choir. He held the role of Seymour in our fall musical Little Shop of Horrors. Desmond O'Connell is an exceptionally committed individual who served several of our choirs this year as a leader and an example of what the Red Mountain Way looks like in the performing arts. He earned placement in the North Central Regional Honor Choir, All-State Show Choir, and All-State Honor Choir. Juliana is the principal viola of both chamber and orchestra and RMSO. She earned her way into the North Central Regional Honors Orchestra for the 4th year and made All-State for the 3rd year. Juliana is one of the strongest leaders in the performing arts and is our Orchestra Council President. Congratulations.
I'm so sorry. Are you sure? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Ben Brandon. I'm the Department Chair of Physical Education, and I want to bring up some students for outstanding physical educators, or education students. First one, Benjamin Bray, Kendra Bailey, Francisco Saucedo, Elise Madrano, Ryan Madera, Abigail Mann, and Kyle Gallagher, and Caitlin Barrett. As I read these, I think it's only fitting that these guys should be doing push-ups and sit-ups and some squat holds while we're doing this. So I'll go ahead and show these parents how good you guys are. Ben is a two-sport athlete, participating in both football and volleyball. While he excels in athletic programs, Ben also excels in the classroom, carrying a straight-A average, and is a member of the honor roll. Kendra always comes prepared to class, ready to learn, ready to work hard. She is a role model among her peers and contributes to the overall positive tone of the class. Sauce played JV football and is a leader in the weight room, where he consistently leads by example, regardless of the outcome. Elise is a role model for how hard work and determination should be. She is a leader in the classroom. Ryan is a member of the varsity soccer team. His work ethic is one to admire as he puts forth his very best effort in everything he does. He is genuine in his thoughts and actions. Abigail, she is a member of the badminton team and is currently ranked 18th in her class. She is an intense competitor on the badminton court and just as intense in her daily workouts in the weight room. Which, mind you, we have 18 badminton players in the weight room, which is phenomenal for this. Most in the state of Arizona. Kyle, for 4 years, Kyle has been the varsity letter winner in cross country and track. He's worked tirelessly to make himself the best athlete, as well as the best role model for other students. He carries a GPA of nearly 4.0. He truly embodies the spirit of Red Mountain. Caitlin puts forth the strongest effort in PE, is excited about learning new ways to be healthy and active. Caitlin does all the little things every day that make up the Red Mountain Way. Congratulations, guys.
Hello, good evening. I'm Cheryl Dunham. I'm the Science Department Chair, and I would like to call the following 8 science students up to be recognized for our department. Abriana Husband, Benjamin Finlay, Whitney Forrest, Caitlin Williamson, Rachel Einecker, Robert Kasson, and Isabella Moya, and Matthew Valdez. Abriana Husband is our outstanding senior science student. Breezy's tentativeness at the beginning of the year, Shirley has been transformed into an attitude of confidence and empowerment. She has shown that she has a true conceptual understanding and has exceeded in her lab classwork this year. Benjamin Finlay. Benjamin Finlay pays great attention to detail and has a really uncommon focus. Ben's ability to communicate both verbally and in written word ensures high marks. His focus, organization, and ability to listen to others gives confidence to any task and brings out the best in others. Whitney Forrest. Whitney is the type of student that simply makes teaching fun. Her enthusiasm for everything science is absolutely contagious. Just ask her about the dancing rituals of the blue-footed booby. Caitlin Williamson. She is self-motivated and always brings topics to her science teacher's attention without being prompted. She brings an inquisitive mind to class every day, and her positive attitude is contagious. She even teaches Mr. Damasa a few new things about biology that he hasn't heard before. Rachel Einecker. She has an attitude of excitement and curiosity for science. Her passion to understand the world around us is infectious. She is always engaged in classroom discussion, sharing thoughtful insight and asking meaningful, higher-level questions. She welcomes challenges as opportunities and positively influences the space around her. Robert Casson. Robert often takes it upon himself to help others in class. He is frequently seen surrounded by students who are seeking his help because of his patience and ease at explaining difficult concepts. Isabella Moyer. In class, students are often challenged to think, problem solve, reason, and be creative with their ideas. Bella never disappoints. She always has well thought out explanations and amazing ideas. Bella is a talented young lady with great determination, desire, potential, and the ability to achieve whatever she wants. Matthew Valdez. Matthew demonstrates curiosity, excellent communication skills, and has a desire to investigate all aspects of a topic. His stick-with-itness and determination to succeed in biology is exemplary and deserving of recognition. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Trevor Brimhall, and I'm the Social Studies Department Chair. And we have 8 award winners, so if you could just hold your applause till the end, please, and I'll bring them up, and we'll line up and we'll say a little about each one of them. Joshua Davis, if you could please come up. Jessica McKissick. Nathan Campos. Alice Madrano. Lindsay Briggs, Lauren Kuss, Brandon Rice, and Elizabeth Dumper. So if you could just come up, please. We know who each of you are at Red Mountain. We've been really blessed to have you in our classes as lights in our room to help us get through the day and help us in our curriculum, but not everybody does. So as I say just a little bit about you, if you would just kind of raise your hand and so the audience knows who you are, because you deserve to be recognized. I'm going to take a little bit different tact. Instead of reading excerpts from what each of the teachers wrote, I'm going to just read you 3 character attributes or character skills that really stuck out to me in the language of what the teachers said. So Josh, you're first. Kind and radiant smile, thoughtful and a volunteer in the community, all really impressive attributes. So thank you, Josh. Jessica, I was really struck by this one. A teacher said she goes above and beyond, in her work, but is also a friend to everyone. And the teacher gave an example of how she saw somebody struggling in a class one day and actually made it a point to go and to talk to them. I think all of us are afraid to sometimes reach out to others, or we live in our own little world. And for a high school student to be that perceptive is amazing. So thank you, Jessica, for making our campus a better place. Nathan is respectful of all, and I was really struck by this. The teacher said he always has the courage to do the right thing, which is hard for everybody, right? And he's a consistent performer in class academically, which can be hard to do, especially on those Mondays and Fridays. Thank you. Alice, she works well with her peers. Is it Elise? Yes. Oh, sorry. Apologies. I heard a laughter. Thank you, parent, for laughing. Stand corrected. Happens often. Thank you. She works well with her peers. She's an exceptional student and has a lighthearted personality. In academics and school, it's really easy to take ourselves too seriously. So it's wonderful to have students in our room that realize that academics is important, but also keeping things in perspective is really valuable too. So thank you. Lindsay, the teacher said that your smile lights up the room and that you're a creative problem solver and have grit and a positive attitude. Those three character skills can probably complete a whole life there, so I was really impressed with that. Stick with that, and you'll accomplish great things. Thank you. Lauren is one of my students in AP Seminar. She has a razor-sharp focus in class. She's always motivated. She's polite, and she's inclusive. At the AP level, I see students that are really capable, but they're not always inclusive because they're so focused, they don't always reach out. And Lauren, a few times, in a real significant way, has reached out to others in the class and helped to lift them up. And she's not afraid to challenge herself, which is really exciting. And she's going to accomplish really great things next year in her senior year. So thank you. Brandon, this is from Mr. Kaufman. You didn't think he complimented anybody, but there you go. You can take this back to him. I didn't realize he was this articulate, by the way. This is amazing. So he said you have, quote, unflappable enthusiasm, which is awesome. I'm not naturally cheerful. I have to fake it sometimes, and I love students that come in and are cheerful. And just so you know, he's in AP Economics, but he shares also, he's in my room in AP Government. And you are always cheerful. And academics is great and intelligence is wonderful, but being happy is most important. And you have all of those, which is really incredible. He said you have a commitment, a true commitment to being an active and informed student. And so thank you for being in our class this year. It's been wonderful to have you. Okay, one final one. Elizabeth. This is Elizabeth. Sorry, I point you out. Elizabeth was also in AP, is also in AP Gov and AP Macroeconomics. This is her first AP class, if you don't mind me saying. Sometimes students don't realize when they get as seniors, the next year all their classes will be AP. And she was a little bit reticent to take the class, but she took the leap, and her work has really paid off. Sometimes we're afraid to take that jump, take the risk to do things that we're not familiar with, and At Red Mountain, we have the Red Mountain Way. You've heard about it: courage, respect, and influence. And I think one of the defining characteristics of courage is to take the leap when we don't necessarily know when our feet or where our feet will land. And she's done that. She's been an awesome student all year. Positive attitude, hard worker, consistent, and she's overcome a lot of the academic challenges throughout the year. And so I really appreciate her example of courage throughout the year, so thank you. So thank you again to all the social studies award winners, and for those of you that are graduating, we wish you well, and we hope to see the rest of you these next couple years. Your teachers are in for a real treat to have you in their classes. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
All right, that was great. First of all, let me congratulate all of the students on their great academic achievements. Parents, you have a lot to be proud. Give yourselves a hand. Secondly, let me take a minute to thank the person who put this whole night together and hopefully made it a wonderful and memorable one for all of you. This person is responsible for collecting and coordinating all of these write-ups, getting them to the printer, and assembling them for the students. In addition, she has coordinated this entire event, from music all the way down to when each one of you came up on stage. Each year she has coordinated this event. It has gotten better. I cannot thank her enough for doing such a spectacular job. Please join me in thanking Mrs. Nancy Darling. Please come to the stage.
And she's not going to say anything.
You could have said something. Lastly, this is my third and final year as president of Academic Booster Club and my sixth as a member of this truly wonderful organization. Let me take the opportunity, if I may, to say a few thank yous. First of all, to Karen Hoops. Karen, where are you? Karen is the founder of ABC, along with Dr. Schlemmer, and I thank her for granting me the opportunity to follow in her footsteps. Hopefully she hears me. Thank you to the ABC board, who tirelessly supports the students, staff, and teachers here at Red Mountain, especially all three of my right hands, Sharon Foster, Mimi Gumbel, and April Dominguez. Thank you to Mr. Ryan, who, since his arrival, has been tremendously supportive of all that ABC does at every turn, and all of the administrators and staff at Red Mountain. It is now my pleasure to pass the torch, or the lamp of learning as it were, to the next president, Gretchen Laird. All right, it's Mr. Ryan's turn.
I'll be back. All right, so as Patty just got done saying, and she's always great at pointing out awesome things other people do, but honestly, since day one I've been on campus, this is an organization that recognizes all students for all wonderful things that they're doing. This doesn't exist on most campuses. Matter of fact, I don't know of any others that something like this exists. And it's because of the leadership and vision of Karen, Dr. Schlemmer, Patty carrying it on, other parents who have stepped up. Things like this go away if there aren't parents who are willing to step up and dedicate the time to doing it. So all the students and families in the crowd, please join me in applauding Miss Patty Meath and thank her for her work. Well, we know Art's awake up there. That was nice, Art. Good timing with that music. Great work. So In closing, simply put, Red Mountain is not an easy campus to attend. You have challenging courses, you have challenging teachers, expectations are high, and everyone in this room has not only come and accepted the challenge, but you've separated yourselves. You're doing one of two things as an individual at all levels. Doesn't matter if you're my age, grandparents' age, or you're 5 years old. You're either separating yourself or other people are separating themselves from you. One of those two things is happening. There are thousands of students that will graduate in 2 weeks just in the East Valley. Tens of thousands of students. So seniors, those of you that have separated yourselves by doing special things to uniquely prepare you for the future, kudos. For you freshmen through juniors in the room, remember, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, you're walking across the stage, and there are tens of thousands of others walking across that stage as well. What are you going to do between now and then to separate yourself rather than being separated from? Thank you all for being here tonight. Have a wonderful evening.